Among the most quoted reflections on knowledge and progress, Sir Isaac Newton's humble declaration captures a profound truth about human achievement. Though Newton himself was one of history's greatest scientific minds, he chose not to emphasize solitary genius, but collective inheritance. His words remind us that no discovery, innovation, or act of wisdom arises in isolation. Every advance rests upon the labor, insight, sacrifice, and errors of those who came before. To stand on the shoulders of giants is to acknowledge that progress is cumulative, that greatness is relational, and that humility is the true companion of wisdom. At its surface, Newton's statement is an expression of gratitude. He recognizes that his groundbreaking contributions to physics, mathematics, and astronomy, laws of motion, universal gravitation, and calculus, were not conjured from nothing. They were made possible by centuries of thinkers who asked questions, tested assumptions, and laid foundations. Figures such as Euclid, Archimedes, Copernicus, Kepler, Galileo, and Descartes provided the intellectual scaffolding upon which Newton could climb. Their ideas did not solve every problem, but they raised humanity's vantage point, allowing future minds to see further than before. This insight dismantles the myth of the lone genius. Popular culture often celebrates singular heroes who appeared to transcend their time, as if brilliance erupts spontaneously. Newton's words gently correct this illusion. Even the most original thinker is shaped by language, culture, teachers, books, and traditions. Genius, then, is not isolation, but synthesis, the ability to connect inherited ideas in new ways. To stand on the shoulders of giants does not diminish one's achievement, it contextualizes it, making it both possible and meaningful. There is also a moral dimension embedded in Newton's reflection. By crediting others, he models intellectual humility. In an age where recognition, authorship, and personal branding dominate discourse, humility becomes a radical virtue. Newton's choice to acknowledge his predecessors suggests that true confidence does not require self-exaltation. Rather, it grows from an honest appraisal of one's place within a broader human story. Such humility fosters collaboration, openness, and respect, qualities essential for sustained progress. Beyond science, the metaphor extends to every field of human endeavor. In literature, writers build upon myths, archetypes, and narrative forms refined over centuries. Shakespeare drew from earlier chronicles and plays. Modern authors, in turn, draw from Shakespeare. In philosophy, thinkers respond to those who came before, Plato to Socrates, Aristotle to Plato, Kant to Hume, and so on. Each generation refines questions, sharpens arguments, and reframes problems. Even in the arts, where originality is prized, innovation emerges from mastery of tradition. The painter who breaks the rules must first know them. The phrase also speaks powerfully to education. Learning is not merely the accumulation of facts, but an ascent enabled by others. Teachers, mentors, and authors act as giants whose shoulders lift students above ignorance. When a student grasps a concept quickly, it is often because someone else organized knowledge in a way that made clarity possible. Textbooks condense centuries of struggle into accessible form. Lectures distill hard-won insights into lessons. To learn, therefore, is to participate in a shared human effort that spans generations. At a societal level, Newton's insight explains the nature of civilization itself. Institutions, legal systems, languages, technologies, moral codes are inherited achievements. Roads follow ancient paths,
Laws echo older customs. Modern devices rest on prior inventions. Even revolutions, which claim to break with the past, borrow ideas, symbols, and structures from earlier movements. Progress is rarely a clean rupture. It is more often a careful extension. The future is built with materials salvaged from the past. Yet standing on the shoulders of giants carries responsibility as well as privilege. To see further is not merely to admire the view, but to act wisely upon it. Knowledge confers power, and power demands ethical restraint. Newton's discoveries transformed the world, enabling technologies that reshaped society for better and worse. The same is true today in fields like artificial intelligence, genetics, and energy. Those who inherit vast intellectual legacies must ask not only what can be done, but what should be done. Gratitude to the past must be matched with stewardship for the future. There is also a personal lesson in Newton's words. Each individual life is shaped by unseen contributors, parents who sacrificed, communities that nurtured, cultures that transmitted values, and ancestors whose struggles created present opportunities. Recognizing this lineage can cultivate humility and resilience. When we succeed, we are reminded that we did not do so alone. When we fail, we are encouraged by the knowledge that others faced obstacles before us and overcame them. Our lives, like our ideas, are continuations rather than beginnings. Importantly, standing on the shoulders of giants does not mean uncritical acceptance of the past. Giants, after all, are human. They err, contradict themselves, and reflect the limitations of their time. Progress requires both reverence and revision. Newton himself corrected earlier astronomical models. Einstein later revised Newtonian physics. To honor giants is not to freeze their ideas, but to engage them critically, extending their insights while transcending their mistakes. True respect lies in thoughtful dialogue, not blind obedience. In the modern world, where information is abundant and attention is fragmented, Newton's reflection gains renewed relevance. The ease of access to knowledge can create the illusion that ideas are free-floating and self-generated. Yet behind every article, algorithm, or invention lies a dense web of prior work. Remembering this lineage can counter intellectual arrogance and foster deeper understanding. It can also inspire patience, reminding us that meaningful progress is often slow, incremental, and collective. Ultimately, Newton's reflection is a quiet philosophy of history. It portrays humanity as a long chain of learners and builders, each adding a stone to a growing edifice of knowledge. No single person completes the structure, but each contributes to its height. To see further is not to dominate the horizon, but to inherit it, and then to leave it slightly expanded for those who follow. In acknowledging the giants beneath him, Newton offers a timeless lesson. Greatness is not the denial of dependence, but the intelligent use of it. We rise by remembering where we stand.
Subscribe to this YouTube channel and share the video.